Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kat and I make videos about books, writing and other random things living rent-free in my neurodivergent brain. Today I have a tag that I want to do, and to be honest, I'm very behind on all my tags at the moment. I've been tagged by a few YouTube friends to do a bunch of different videos and different topics, which I'm very excited about. But again, I'm very behind, so I'm gonna try to catch up. So the bulk of the videos that you might see from me in the upcoming couple or 3 weeks are probably gonna be tags so that I can catch up and be up to date if anything new comes up. So I hope you like those because I have a few in the pipeline. Today should be a fairly quick and sweet one. It isn't that bad tag, which was created by Melinda at A Wave of Pages, and I was tagged by Nicky at my Macy bookshelf to do this. Question number 1 is, do you dog ear your books? I do that sometimes, but honestly, it's quite rare. I don't have a strong opinion about it. I know that some people would want to keep their book pristine and never do that and would be quite horrified. To me, honestly, it depends on the book and the context. I'm more likely to do it for a non-fiction book where I want to take notes and retain some of the information for later on. It's less likely with novels and fiction in general, unless there is a beautiful quote that I want to remember and save. I have an app on my phone which I believe is called Text Edit. I can't really check now because I'm filming on my phone, but I will insert the name here if it's not correct. So I think it's called Text Edit, and basically it uses some kind of recognition software, so you can use your camera and the app will read the text and will import that in the app. So then I copy paste it into BrainToss, which is another app that sends notes to my emails, and that's basically how I record like longish quotes that I want to save. So most of the time I don't dog ear my books, but again, I'm not opposed to it and I've done it in the past. It's not something that I do very often though. Second question is related, do you annotate your books? Same kind of answer, it depends on the book and context. I'm more likely to annotate again if it's non-fiction and I want to extract some information from the book. If I'm pretty sure that I will want to keep the book, I am more likely to annotate, and also if there's a lot of information that I want to highlight, then I'm more likely to do that with a pen in my book rather than again using that text recognition app to import it in digital form, because that would be much more work and would slow me down much more in my reading. Question number 3, do you roll covers or break the spine while you read? So far, I've really tried to avoid doing that. I try to not break the spine, but to be honest, at times it's such a pain, like just trying to open the book enough that you're able to read without breaking it, that I'm slowly falling into the dark side of the force, I would say. I think I might start doing that and be a bit less precious about my books, with the caveat I would probably do that for cheap paperbacks. Obviously, for more expensive editions, I would probably not want to do that. And there's also the question of how confident am I that I will want to keep the book versus maybe try to sell it later on or give it away. Question 4, do you listen to something while you read? No, for me, I really want to read in silence, so I don't listen to music or I don't put anything in the background. Question number 5 is, do you read in the bathroom? I don't think I've done that in a while, but I've definitely done it in the past. And yeah, it's not a regular thing, but that happens. Question number 6, do you read in water, such as in the bath or in the pool? Well, currently I don't have a bathtub, so I don't take bath really. And even when I had one, it was a very rare occurrence. I think we all have in mind this kind of glamorous picture of like a self-care date with yourself, where you get yourself a warm bath, light some candles, use scented salts for your bath and things like that, and then you plunge in there with maybe a drink of something, maybe a snack, and then your book. I've definitely tried to recreate this experience, but it's not really my thing. Again, I'm not really taking bath that often, and every time I do, I feel a bit, I don't know, disappointed. It's not as great of an experience as I have in my mind, so not really anymore. If I'm in the pool, I just want to swim and goof around and have a fun time, so not that reading is not a fun time, but it's like a very different activity for me. So I don't really read in water, I think is the answer. Question number 7, do you DNF? That's a big fat yes. I think there are so many books on the planet, so many books that I want to read, and again there's like more all the time, so it's impossible to keep up. And if a book is just not grabbing my attention, or if I'm just not enjoying myself, most of the time I will DNF. I think I could be even harsher. I quite like that rule of you give a chance to a book up to 100 pages minus your age. So the older you get, the less time you have for something that is not the good fit for you. I quite like that concept. And so for me, I am 36, so I should read a book until, oh god, math on a Sunday evening is hard. 64, I think. So if at page 64 I'm still not enjoying a book, then I should DNF it. I don't always do it, but I'm usually better off when I do it. Again, I don't want to waste my time with something that is not for me, because there is so many other books that will give me more joy and entertainment or whatever I'm looking for, so I don't want to waste my time. Question number 8. Do you ever read ahead or skip to the end of the book? I think the only times I've skipped to the end, it's not saying like going all the way to the end, but like I will take peeks here and there and like maybe read the last few pages. That's when I'm not enjoying myself. I still want to know what happens, but I basically want to DNF the book, so it's just my way of getting that last bit of information, like having a sense of how things end, so that I'm not pushing through a book that again is not for me, but I'm still having curiosity about kind of the denouement at the end. So that's usually when I do it. The other thing that I do is kind of, I like to know how much I have to go until the next break, so I will usually count the number of pages in a chapter to know roughly how long it will take me. And basically I just want to know what I'm getting myself into, because I don't like to stop in the middle of the chapter, like in the middle of the book. So if I can, I will read a chapter in a whole. Question number 9. Are you book polygamous? Meaning, do you read several books at a time? Absolutely yes. Sometimes it gets a little bit overboard. I think at the moment I'm in the middle of 5 books, which is kind of reasonable. I've had worse than that, but I think I like to have a mix of physical books and audiobooks on the go, and then mix it up with fiction and non-fiction. So I have basically books for different moods, different level of energy, and so it's easier for me to pick what I'm in the mood for when I want to read. And as a result, I read more, because if I'm very tired, I will usually have an easy read that I can turn to that doesn't require too much brain power. If I want a little bit of brain food, something a little bit more stimulating, then I will have that as well. I quite like that balance, and I quite like to read a bit diversely. So again, I will pick different format, different genres, different level of difficulty. That's the way that works for me. I know some people need just one book at a time and focus on it. For me, I think I would be much slower, because again, depending on the level of difficulty, if it's a bit of a more challenging book, then I will be very slow in finishing it, because oftentimes I will be tired and the book might feel a bit intimidating and all of that. So again, that prevents as much as possible reading slumps for me, having that variety. It also works well with my brain. I like variety, I like novelty, and so having a lot to choose from at all times is really something that helps keep me interested and keep moving forward. Question number 10. Do you own more books than bookshelf space? That probably has been the case at some point when I had less space available, but now I moved into this house around March last year. I have more space. I even have like one of those big bookshelves empty in the garage, that because we are not using it. We have some inbuilt bookshelves in the little room behind this one. So no, at the moment I'm pretty good. That being said, I would want to have beautiful bookshelves in my office, and then when we renovate the living room, I would that as well, which might mean that they will be a bit less packed than this. So I don't want to fill all the space I have available at the moment. I'm trying to be slightly more minimalist with my book collection. I don't think I'll ever be a full-blown minimalist when it comes to books, but again, I'm in the process of trying to curate my shelves a bit more. I'm much better at letting books go when they're not for me or when I don't think I'm going to reread them, so I can release them to the world and let them find another reader who will enjoy them more. I'm in a transition phase where I want to be more picky with the books that I bring into my home and that I purchase, because they cost money, they take space. I also have way more that I'm physically able to read at the moment, so it doesn't make sense for me to keep bringing books in and in and in all the time. So I'm trying to be more mindful of that and overall have a more essentialist perspective or essentialist practices around books, making sure that my bookshelves reflect my taste, the things I'm interested in, and just me, like kind of the person that I am. The last question is, do you ever take a book without leaving one at a free little library? Absolutely, because when I encounter a little free library, usually I don't necessarily have books to donate with me, but if there is something I'm very excited about, I will pick it up. To be honest, that's still quite rare because the free libraries in France are not amazing, at least the ones that I've encountered. But I've also donated a lot of books, so I think I've probably donated way more books than I've picked up from the free little libraries. I also donate to my library. I think the balance is clearly heavy leaning on the giving side rather than the taking, so I don't feel any guilt if I'm picking up a book and not putting one in, because I know that, again, I've given at other times. And there's just a matter of timing as well. Like, again, if I don't have books to donate with me, it would be a shame for me to just like leave a book that I'm super excited about in the free library because I don't have anything with me. So again, yeah, I think it's a question of balance, and I'm quite comfortable with the amount of books that I'm giving away. And then finally, the last part of this tag is to obviously tag other people. I would love to hear the answers to this tag from the following people: Rochelle from Good Morning Dreamer, Steph from Once Upon a Bookish Steph, Sonali from the Melodramatic Bookworm, Nickelle from Nickelle's Nook, Arin from Arin Honey, and finally Becca from Jiminy Pages. So that's it for today. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!